Hi, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Amber. I am an author and a freelance editor. We are filming in my car today because I am having a hell of a year. And first of all, if you are here because you found me, because you're looking up KDP hardcover unboxings, go ahead and just skim through this video until you see me holding up a book, and then we'll go into it. For my subscribers and everything, you're welcome to stay, or you can skim through as well. I sat down to film this video in my usual filming space at my desk in front of Chili's tank, and I realized that 3 days ago now, my charging port on my phone stopped working right when I figured out how to use my microphone that my husband got me ages ago. And he explained it to me. He knows technology. He's really good with it. And I am not. And so I just was like, I don't know. And my mom's like, well, just plug it in to the charging port, which I'm sure my husband said in, less vernacular terms. And so my last video, if you watched it, this audio is really, really good. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I sat down to film and I realized, oh, that doesn't work. So I plugged it in, just hopeful, and no, it won't work. And Chili had a filtration system where it had like 8 little spouts, so that when I was filming, I would kind of just aim it at the wall versus into the water for aeration, because he's the only one in the tank now, because we sadly lost a snail. He was over a year old, so that makes sense. And so I usually just put it on the wall for the 15 minutes I would film, put it back in the water, and it was fine. But now with my microphone, I didn't even have to worry about it. But the charging port on my phone stopped working. So I've been charging it with like the ones where you set it on top of it. And I was like, you know what? My mom bought a wireless mic, like the little fuzzy one that everyone on YouTube has, and she thinks they're adorable. So she got me one. And I haven't even opened it. And I went to open it, and before I could even get into the plastic, I realized there's like 3 pieces. 2 are microphones. 1 is a little device you're supposed to put into your charging port so it connects via Bluetooth. I don't even want to open it in case that's the only way that mic works, because then it's like, great, I still can't use that to film. Which normally you would be like, oh, that's a pretty normal thing. Like that's not like a big issue. Except that this is the only place left for me to film is in my car. And there's a lot of stuff going on where it's like my writing and my YouTube are kind of the only things I look forward to. I'm determined not to cry because, first of all, you're not here in the car with me. Like, that'd be awkward. You can't comfort me. You know what I mean? And also, whenever I think of someone crying on camera, I now think of all the horrible apology videos that weren't really apology. Yeah, that nonsense. I've been on YouTube a hot minute. But right now, I quit my job back in March. I was working 10-hour shifts, but we had insurance. But my husband and I were like, that's fine. We don't need the insurance right now. We've got a system going. Well, it turns out that my husband has EDS, hypermobile EDS, and degenerative bone disease that have now basically made him bedridden since the beginning of the month. And it is stuff, sadly, that like I think we've learned how to fix it. The issue is we don't have the insurance to fix it. But I'm also like, do I go out and get another job? Because most jobs, they won't have insurance for the first like 30 or 60 days. In which case, like, we were going to the ER because we need something right now. But then also, it's like, it doesn't matter if I'd kept my job because I would have had to go out on FMLA to be with him to help take care of him because he's having difficulty just moving. And it's like, we wouldn't have been making any money. And at least this way, I've set myself up freelancing that I'm making enough of an income that we can take care of all the bills. It doesn't matter. And it is so much. And it sucks that in this country, you have to make a choice between having a job so that you are insured and you can actually get medical care, or you can be a freelance or a contract worker, which is what both my husband and I do, and he was doing. But then you have to pay, like, we looked up insurance and it was like $1,000 a month. And I'm like, no, like that's ridiculous. And fortunately, when we went to the ER, I filled out that little charity hospital form, and it was like, oh yeah, you qualify. Because, you make no money according to Texas standards. And they're like, yeah, your ER visit's going to be $25. I was like, that's amazing. We're going to get billed later because this is America. And, they want every bit of pennies they can get out of you. But the fact that it was like, okay, great. But now it's like we need an orthopedic doctor. I believe that's the correct one. For his bone issues, but it's like, again, we have to find one who will work with us without insurance. And it is just like this snowball effect of everything that's going on in our personal lives, and how like we can't apply for disability for him because of the regime. Insurance is completely unaffordable because of this regime. And we were going to go with the Affordable Care Act coverage, which is probably going to be ended within the next year and a half because of this regime. And it is so frustrating that in order to keep my husband alive, we have to do these hoops because other people just wanted to save money on their damn taxes. And that's literally how people vote in this country. It has nothing to do with human rights. It is who's going to give you the most tax breaks. Well, guess what? It's going to be the freaking billionaires that you voted for, because the only true Republicans are these billionaires and multi-millionaires, because everyone else realizes, oh, hey, yeah, that's probably really unethical to have that much money. But, great segue, by the way. If you like political crap, that's in my new poetry collection. So anyway, but yeah, so here we are in my car filming this, and it is that fine line between like getting stuff done because it needs to get done, but then also doing other stuff because that's what's going to give you the hope to keep going in general. So like these YouTube videos, I've talked with my husband about it because I've had meltdowns over not being able to get a video up or not sticking to my schedule. Because the first, I think 8 months I was uploading once a week at the same time. I think it was Friday or Saturday at the time. And if I couldn't get a video out on time, like I would break down. And he attributed that to just being stressed about it. And he goes, well, if this is going to stress you this much, you should probably cut back. But it was the other hand of, this is the one thing that doesn't stress me. I want to uphold it. I want to keep doing it. I want to make sure that the thing that doesn't stress me is a thing that's still like consistently in my life. And yes, this video is going to be in clips because I'm still freaking using Canva for my videos and I can't upload anything longer than like 6 minutes. So yeah, it was just one of those things where I was trying to be positive and be like, oh, this isn't working, let's do this. Oh, this isn't working, let's do this. And every single thing is wrong. So eventually I'm going to have to go to our phone carrier, and I don't know if I need a new phone. I don't know if this is something fixable. Odds are it's something my husband can fix. But then it's also like this phone is, I think, 4 years old. So I don't know if it's under the plan that they might just like, have the phone stop working at some point, because that's a whole other thing going on. But it is just, I don't know of any country besides a third world country where it's this hard to be a disabled person or a chronically ill person. And it's like, unless it's something like cancer, people either don't understand or they just eventually get tired of hearing you talk about it. Because like I had a Chiari malformation where basically I dislocated part of my skull. Most people are bored with it. I did it to myself. And I had to have spinal and cervical surgery to repair it. And it took me, honestly, probably for 4 or 5 years after the surgery, when I had it, to actually stop having headaches on like a weekly basis. And my close family and friends, obviously very sympathetic, empathetic, but everyone else, you could tell, was just tired of hearing me talk about these headaches I had. Because it's not something they can visibly see, and it's not something they can like rebel against like cancer. It's like it's something they can't see or understand. And so eventually they're like, okay, you're in pain all the time, so you should probably eventually stop talking about it. But it's also like, why am I in pain all the time? Why can we not fix this? And so it's just really hard to, I guess, just focus on being positive when literally your entire current government is against you. And it is just the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. So, but I came on here because my book came in on Tuesday and I haven't even been able to film a video about it. Just, if you know, you know, and this country does not give a damn if you have chronic pain or chronic illness. They think you should just get over it. And then they wonder why all our veterans are committing, you know, the word I can't say, maybe I can say, I don't know. I think it's a monetization thing. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. But it's just, this country is turning into a hellhole, and nobody, the people who realize it are being told they're paranoid and conspiracy theorists because of it. And it's just, meanwhile, every other first world country in the world is looking at us like, what's going on with you guys? Like, are you okay? It's like, no, we're not. Do you mind helping us? Oh, you can't, because he seems to think he's king of the world or something. I don't know. So, but without further ado, now that I've vented a little bit, I don't know, maybe this won't go in the video. Maybe this will be a whole nother video. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I do want to show you guys the video and pictures because I know that that's really what we want to see. So again, pausing because I'm hitting my time limit. So this is my hardcover from Amazon KDP. Let me do it this way. It is very red in person. For comparison, I'll put up the mock-up here. And it's supposed to be a very dark orange. And then I'll also include pictures that I took in direct sunlight versus not direct sunlight. I don't know if I want to adjust it because, like, if you're looking at it in person, it is dark orange. It really is. But I just want to make sure it can't be confused for red, because that wasn't the, oh my gosh, words, influence for it. I wanted it to be dark orange, like amber. I wanted to have like this like light yellow, amber, dark gold, amber, like that's what it is. And I do want to say that in certain lighting, it does look really different. I've heard this with issues. Katie Wismer has this issue a lot from Amazon for her hardcovers. So it came to me, yeah, you can see the reflection. Yeah, that came, like, that was on it when I took it out of the box. All of that, I don't even know if it's going to come up. Yeah, you can kind of see here and here. That's just me touching it. That's nothing on my hands either. Like, I know how the Amazon books are, and I know how matte covers are. So you have to be really careful or your fingerprints and your oils will get all over it. But this one just, I don't know, it just seems to be collecting everything even worse. Daughter of the Bottle, my third book, was a black cover, so it was really bad with fingerprints and stuff. The best one I think was Missed Arrows, which was like this bright pink color. But this is the spine. I'm trying to show you guys, hold on. It's slightly, like, you can see bits of red on the sides there. Red, orange, amber. I think it's fine though. Like, I'm not, like, I think if I move it over, then you'll see yellow on the front, and I absolutely don't want that. But yeah, it's just the title. That's, I mean, my name's in the title, but I didn't do my orange rose press at the bottom. I will actually, so the front does, it's this really thick, like, cardstock paper. Now, that was my other thing, I was like, is that too far in? But honestly, looking at it on the camera, I think that's okay. I don't think I need to close this gap at all. If this was a work of fiction, I probably would, but considering it's poetry, I want there to be quite a bit of white space around it. And already, this is called Chapters. This is not called Chapters, it's called ADHD. So I already have some stuff I need to fix on that. It did end up being, I think I told you guys in the last video, like 156 pages? I think it was 156 or 158. But it looks really good. It took 6 days to get to me, which is a lot longer than the paperbacks. But the paperbacks are printed in, for me, Campbell, Texas. which I think they print paperbacks in pretty much all their facilities. This one, however, was printed in Illinois. So I'm thinking the hardcovers are only printed in like maybe 2 or 3 places, which makes sense. I imagine it'd be a slightly different machine for it. And most people are probably publishing paperbacks and ebooks off Amazon KDP anyway. But, oh yeah, this was the other thing. If it'll focus, there we go. And you can see it on the back as well. I can focus it there. This was shipped in a box. This is a 5.5 by 8.5, so slightly bigger than my paperbacks. It was shipped in a box that was exactly the right size, and it was not wrapped. There was no brown paper. There was no bubble wrap. It was in this box, and it fit perfectly dimensional wise, but the box was like this thick in comparison, so it's just floppy the whole time. So that's why this is damaged. So I'm hoping that when a reader orders it, they actually ship it correctly, because this is thin. You could put this in the bubble mailer, the envelopes, and it would fit just fine. Why they didn't do that? Because Amazon's done that with all of my paperbacks. Ingram Spark is the only one that ships your book in a very carefully wrapped box every time. But this is, I don't know. Hold on, pausing again. I am really happy with the book itself. I know Amazon doesn't necessarily always have the best printing, but it's also considerably cheaper, because this is not going anywhere. This is an Amazon exclusive hardcover. I don't even have an ebook set up for it. I am planning on doing that later on, because I want it to be in KU, but I don't have that planned. I don't even know if I'll do it by the end of the year, to be perfectly honest. That might be a 2026 thing, but I absolutely love it. I've never published a hardcover, and this was my favorite thing to read as a kid. As an adult, I love paperbacks, but I think that's a weight thing. I don't want to carry around it, but this isn't like super heavy either. But I am really excited for how this looks and how it came out. I might keep the color the same. I'm trying to just minimal effort right now, not for the writing that's in here, but for everything else. Like, I don't think the color's off so badly that I need to take time and effort to find a slightly lighter shade of orange, because I'm not going to order a second copy anyway, so I'm not going to be able to check it. But yeah, this book, as I mentioned, all I paid for was the proof copy in terms of publishing costs, because it's an Amazon exclusive. I didn't do an ISBN. It's not going to go anywhere else. No one's going to be able to order it. So $12.04. So if I sell 3 copies, I've made my money back. This is basically a help us earn more money from book royalties to also help earn back the money on the last 3 books I published. I'm actually a third of the way through on earning my money back for The Woman I Hold Dear, which was the other book release for this year. Daughter of the Bottle and Missed Arrows is just so far behind, and I think I've sold like 1 or 2 more copies of Daughter of the Bottle compared to Missed Arrows. And Daughter of the Bottle is the one that spontaneously sells, like randomly in a month when nothing else is sold. I don't know where Daughter of the Bottle is like getting views on itself. Oh, but also, I was going to read you the blurb. I don't have it in front of me because I'm in my car. It is a very short blurb, much more like the ones, it's only like 2 paragraphs, I think is all it is. But I did I purchased Publisher Rocket for this guy. And I was very, very annoyed to realize that if you go into books, literature and fiction, and poetry, there's one after called United States. And I was like, that is perfect. It doesn't exist. It's a ghost category. It's not a thing. It's on the back end. It doesn't actually exist for ranking or searchability. So this is listed under themes, death, grief, and loss, poetry, and then women authors, and then poetry and anthologies. So I am going to be using Publisher Rocket heavily for my urban fantasy book, which is probably going to be the focus, because I haven't written in that in about a month because of everything else going on, and also I wanted to get this one done. There are still 2 pieces I need to sit down and really, really look at and edit, but it's because they're like my mini essay poetry pieces, where, I mean, I think I have an example. Hold on. I don't want to show you the one I need to fix because I need to fix it. But this kind of stuff, where it's like mini essays, basically. And it's long. It takes up 2 full pages, and that was the one I mentioned in the last video where it's like, I have 2 essays that touch on the same topic, let me just merge them. And so I need to just kind of really go into it and revise it. But that's the only one. And then fixing some minor things like changing chapter titles, because I use The Woman I Hold Dear file in Word, and then I just added in everything else. So, but yeah, no, getting medical care in this country sucks. So there's a lot of that in here. There's a lot of anger at our medical system and about corporations and just people who blindly follow politics based on what color is behind them and not for what they're actually talking about. I think that's my biggest issue with somebody who votes down the board for one or the other. I don't even care which side. If you vote for someone based on their party and not for their policies, then you're voting for like a student council thing. You're voting on a popularity contest. You're not actually voting on things that matter for your fellow Americans, because you're like, hey, you know what? I know this person because they hang out with this person. So I'm going to merit their entire character on who they hang out with. And it's like, oh, no, let's not do that. Let's actually learn who they are before we vote for them. Okay? Thanks. Anyway, The Selected Poems of Amber Campbell releases on November 7th. It is hardcover only. There is no pre-order. But you can get it off of Amazon. And whenever it goes into KU, I will let you guys know. And it is really pretty. So if you just need a pretty poetry collection, you know, really pretty gold cover, yeah, this is great for that. It's going to be $19.99 because that's the only way I make money. It costs 3 times as much to print a hardcover as it does a paperback. Just FYI. So for those who don't know. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys eventually. Bye.